Business Takeout presents The Takeout Effect with Banki. The Takeout Effect brings real conversations in business.
Welcome to The Takeout Effect. The Takeout Effect brings real conversations in business. I'm your host, and my name is Banki. The Takeout Effect is brought to you by Business Takeout. Business Takeout is a nonprofit social enterprise whose mission is to increase Black wealth and empower Black entrepreneurs. Today's guest is perfectly fitting for International Women's Day, which was on Tuesday, and we're still celebrating it this week. She is the founder, producer, and talk show host. She is a talented woman who wears many hats. Please welcome Nikki Clarke of the Nikki Clarke Show. Hi, Nikki. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you so much. Thank you for this amazing opportunity to share. It's great to see you. You look great. And
Thank you.
Congratulations on all your success. It's amazing.
Thank you so much. I'm just started. You have like 25 years into it, where I'm just starting, but I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. We're going to find out if you have a business confession. And for those who are tuning in towards the ending of the show, there is a game called Business Confession. That's where it comes from. But we have so much more to talk about today. We're going to learn so much about who you are, Nikki, and your entrepreneurship journey. So let's dive right into it. But before we do, let's hear a message from our sponsor. All right. So, Nikki Clarke, you have a diploma in social sciences, right, from John Abbott College, and you also at St. McGill University. You studied film and communications. You were instructor at Sheridan College in the early faculty and early childhood education, and in the school. Pardon me, correct me if I'm wrong, right? I'm just reading this off. With the School of Business and Community Development from 1999 to 2009, right? Um, that's just your educational background from the bio that I read. I just wanted to know, with the Nikki Clarke Show in general, how did it all start? How did you get to do this?
Yeah, well, thank you so much for sharing that information about my background. Yes, the journey. Where did it begin? It started in Montreal, and I had a real keen interest in writing, and also being in front of people was something very natural for me. As a child, I was always writing short stories. I had a journal. For my 12th birthday, my parents gave me a typewriter. You're probably wondering what that is, but it's kind of like a keyboard, but it makes more noise. So back then I had a typewriter because they knew I had this interest. And I was writing songs, short stories, poems, and it became natural for me to be, gravitated to, the kind of the creative arts. That's where I was heading in. And I entered, in short story, like essay competitions, and I won competitions. And then in terms of the performing arts, I got involved in choral singing at a very early age. I actually did vocal training at a music school, and I just felt very comfortable in front of people. So all of that brought together this interest for me to, do something, to perform, to write, and also to share my truth. I was very interested in the world, a very curious child, and I always wanted to bring out, the real story to hear what the truth was, and to be able to deliver that in with my own personality. So I thought, okay, I'm going to be this person through the training that I could find at McGill University, and there was a course, as you mentioned, the program was film and communications, and I learned the discipline of film, mass communications, and also volunteered in different aspects. I was a radio host for the university there. I got involved in talent contests, that kind of thing. So this was developing my ability to be in front and to deliver these stories, to be the storyteller that I was hoping to be. But I didn't do anything with it. So all of it came to kind of a halt when I met my university sweetheart, and we got married and moved to from Montreal, Quebec, where I grew up, to Brampton, Ontario. And I became not only a wife, but a mom of three. So I was a stay-at-home mom, Banki, and took care of the family. And but I had this burning thing in me that I still wanted to do this thing that I felt that I was meant to do, but it just didn't happen at the time. But after a few years, as it happens with a lot of relationships, my marriage didn't pan out, and I had to find a way to maintain a family, my three kids, and also to find work. But luckily, I had my education behind me, and I had some really wonderful people in my network who helped to connect me with work. And I got an opportunity to teach at Sheridan College in Brampton in the Faculty of Early Childhood Education. So with that said, I did that for 10 years happily, but I got this divine whisper, and it got louder and louder. And it's like, Nikki, that's not the plan. Remember what the plan was? It was to, go and share these stories. And I was like, but how do I do that? I'm in a safe job. It's a corporate gig. It's paying the bills. I can take care of the family. Do I really take this leap of faith and answer that voice? And yes, I did. So it was an interest. 2008. I did it kind of part-time on the weekend, and 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, I was Miss Clarke. And then on Saturdays, when I developed the show online, I was next on the mix. So I had an online persona, and I had a show that was called And the Beat Goes On, and I invited people from all different types of music genres to come on, and they had to perform very well because they performed live. And one of my first guests, Banki, he was known as Abel at the time, shy guy with this outstanding personality and ability to perform live. He is now known as international star The Weeknd. So everything just kind of, all the dots connected, and I realized that this is something that I needed to do. So I left teaching in 2009, and I probably think a lot of people thought that I was, not okay. I was making the biggest mistake, but it was a total leap of faith. And I said, I don't know how, but I only know that I need to do this. And I got the help of some destiny helpers to help me figure it out. And I launched the show in 2008-ish, 9, and it morphed from And the Beat Goes On to the Nikki Clarke Show. And someone told me, what, Nikki, don't hide behind the scenes. You have to put your name out there. And also the show transformed for just musical artists, but it became one where it was a safe platform for all walks of life, of people to come and share their heart stories. And I dared them to take their masks off and to reveal from their hidden selves what it is, what was their story, what got them from out of the valley to the mountaintop, and what were the lessons, and would they dare share what those lessons were. And I found that people, as I asked them to do that, they shared, but it was like a cathartic release of emotions. And as they released, they were able to heal. And people who were listening or watching, they were able to be healed because they were recognizing that they were not alone, and they were not isolated in that single experience, and that they could have someone that could lean on and someone say, okay, well, she did it, and look where she is now, then I'm a winner too. I can make it. And we also provide resources in the show as well, so that you're not totally left alone in trying to come to that solution in whatever area you are stuck in life, whether it's personally or professionally. So that's how the show developed, and Banki, that leap of faith, that whim, that hobby became a full-time thing, and now 14 years later, and 10 awards later, I'm so glad I listened to Wine Whisper.
And that's the thing. I can relate to you on so many levels, because doing Banki Designs, which is my business, right? I've been basically doing it on the side while I had my 9 to 5. And let me tell you, my 9 to 5 had great benefits.
Yes.
Everything, like a lot of great benefits, great pay. It was a nice job. And everyone was like, well, you're crazy for wanting to leave this. But I wasn't happy with it. In me, I wanted to do what I love.
Right.
Right. So I'm really proud of you for taking that leap of faith.
Thank you.
Right. And I just think it's just so important that we do what we love. And when I started Business Takeout, I wanted to really be a journey of going about business the right way, and basically having everyone share their stories and learn from our mistakes. So based on what you just said, I saw a lot of ways that I related to it. Right?
Fantastic. So we're in alignment, and we're also wearing glasses.
Yes.
We have a lot of things, and we see the same things. So to speak.
Exactly. So I'm just looking at the many hats you wear. Glasses, we're on to hats right now, right? Tell me about your fashion line that recently was launched. I believe it was November of last year, and correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're absolutely correct. And I thank you so much for mentioning it. I'm really excited about it. This is something I've always loved fashion. Growing up in Montreal, you see, so many people, with this incredible style, and I've always been interested in coordinating colors, and being a little bit adventuresome when it comes to putting things together. So I said, you know what, let me do this as another kind of vehicle of a revenue stream, and put that interest together with building another business was something I wanted to do. So yes, I launched Navaan. It's Navan, which is actually my middle name. And Navaan is a name my parents gave me, which means joyful and successful. And I thought, yes, perfect name to identify the woman who wears the clothing line. So the clothes are very simple. They're elegant, they're sophisticated. I have everything from swimsuits to activewear to ball gowns. And it's really to enhance every woman's style. It fits every body. I have every kind of size, to embrace everybody. And yeah, really excited about it. So.
And where can we buy a ball gown?
You can go to navaan.com. So everything is online. So just peruse through. I just put in some new arrivals this week, and I'm going to be introducing some other parts of style, accessories like hats and handbags and some shoes later on. But I just wanted to get everyone focused on, you can buy a bathing suit and a ball gown in one shopping cart.
Amazing. Love it. Now, I try to sing, it,
Nice.
It works out in the shower, but not not anywhere else. But I noticed that you've mentioned that before early on in our conversation about, the weekend and a lot of things that you've done in the music world. Let us know, because I know that you also did like a gospel single. Actually, For Your Love is what I have noted here. Let us know about how did you dive into that journey, and how did you know, well, more of how did you know you wanted to sing, and what propelled you to come up with the single that you did?
Um, Great question. I started to develop an interest in music from church, singing in children's choir at a very early age, from about say 7. And I also wrote my first song when I was 7 years old, and
Nice.
performed it for my mom. She was like, "Where did this child come from?" And I, yeah, later on it led to vocal training and a lot of performances through church and through my school. But it's something that never left me. I have a keen ear. I love music, all types of genres of music, but the kind of the trajectory for me to write the song "For Your Love" was a personal reflection, going through a time of hardship, and trying to find a creative outlet to help me heal from this situation, and also, being a woman of faith, calling on my Creator for help in the different areas of my needs, and always feeling like, if I really focus on prayer, it'll be answered. And the song is really a celebration of how faithful God is, and how I just really want people to know how amazing this love is. So I wrote a song about it, and also I wanted to make it a little different from the traditional gospel, which, may be a little bit slower, or, in a different way of presentation. So I put like house music, make it a little dancey, and what the outcome was really amazing. And I also directed a music video, and co-produced the music video for the song, which I entered in KIF, the Canadian Faith and Film Faith and Film Festival, this past September, and it got honorable mention. So it really was an encouragement that I'm on the right path, and
Yeah.
just follow where your heart is, and the rest is history.
Amazing. I love all of that. Want to dive into the next question, but my laptop battery is about to die. I'm going to ask the producer if she can play a commercial while I plug it in and come right back, okay? That was crazy.
You're plugged in.
Yeah. All right. So I also wanted to get into community activists. And I remember I spoke with you, and I remember seeing you on the board of Keep Six a few years back.
Yes.
And when I read your bio, it says you have 25 years experience as a community activist.
Yes.
Why is being a community activist, why was that important to you?
It's important to me because I feel that I have the energy and the compassion and the confidence to connect with people, and to hear what their needs are, and to advocate to make whatever implementations to fulfill those needs happen. So I got involved with Keep Six, and I'm still with them in different capacities, not as a director right now, but still supporting them because of the personal connections I made with people who were incarcerated, and also working with youth as an educator, and especially working with at-risk youth it really made me very sensitive to their needs, and also to advocate for those who maybe felt that they didn't have a voice, they weren't being heard, and they were being marginalized. And I used my abilities and also connecting to other people in the community, how we could uplift the situation and to, remedy whatever we could. It's not an overnight fix, but it's something at least that if we can unite with the right people to make the changes, then it can happen. It just takes one person to care. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. You don't have to be a graduate from Harvard. You just have to have a heart for community and to just do something. If you don't do something, nothing gets changed.
And that's it, right? We have to do whatever we can to really make a difference, right? I remember one of the things when I had just started the Business Takeout website, I also wanted to do some programs for at-risk youth because I felt that they're the most within the Black community. They're the ones most vulnerable
Yes,
and need more access to resources to improve their lives, right?
absolutely.
So if one of us, if anyone can make a difference, hey, why not? And it's still something on my list of things to do, and I have to see how I'm going to incorporate that in the future.
You can do it, Banki.
Thanks.
I support
I
you.
will. Transforming lives. You know, it's a book that you have. It's called one of many books that you have because you're also an author, right? Transforming Lives One Story at a Time is a powerful series of success and inspiration. It's an anthology of empowering reflection, right? Would you mind just, if you can, if you want to, just let us know about one specific memorable reflection that you've had?
Sure. The book is an anthology of 30 stories. So I invited 30 co-authors to join me in sharing their story of success and transformation. And um, there there's like a gamut of experiences, as it was published in the book, from substance abuse to those who survived all kinds of um, hardships, like not having a home or domestic violence. But my chapter shared what I experienced in my early years growing up in Montreal. When we came from Jamaica in 1970, I was 3 years old. Okay, I'll give you a minute to do the math. That's how old I am. And when we moved to Montreal, it was the port of entry for West Indians in Canada. So we came there. We were the only Black family. We were the only English-speaking family, and it was rough for me because the community wasn't really prepared for diversity at that time.
Yeah.
So I dealt with a lot of confrontational racism. And I think what it did, it really thickened my skin, and it prepared me for experiences later. But the first cut is the deepest. And the one particular experience that I shared in the book was at 4 years old, I was coming out of my parents' car. On Saturdays, we did our grocery run. So coming out of my father's green Pinto, and this little girl who could have been more than, I don't know, 7, 8, came and started to punch and to, call me the N-word and spit and do all these things. This violence erupted, and I had no idea what was going on. My parents were very emotional. And my father, sped off and ran after the little girl. She went in one direction. He went after her. My mom picked me up and took me into our apartment. It was a triplex where we lived. So we went to the top where we resided, and my mother was very emotional, and she was, comforting me. But I had no idea what was going on. I was stunned. I wasn't crying. I was kind of numb from everything because it was such a shock. When my father came back in the room, he was very emotional too. And I've never seen him emotional like that, even to this day. He's a very stoic man. And he sat down and I said, are you okay? Mommy, daddy, are you okay? And they were just visibly upset. So I said to my dad point blank, why did the girl hate me? So, at that time, you're 4 years old. You're only hearing words of affirmation like you're cute, you're
Mhm.
smart, you're my sunshine, and then you're seeing this direct opposition to you, and you're trying to make sense of it as a 4-year-old. So I asked my dad, clearly she does not like me. She hates me. Why? I want you to explain. So my father then, in his fatherly way, explained to me that yes, you are these things. You are smart. You are beautiful. You are kind. You are special. But there are people you're going to encounter in life who are just going to look at you and not understand how special you are. But you're going to have to be smarter and stronger. And that's just what I became.
Yeah.
I learned, as being the only Black girl in many circumstances in school or, community events, I just had to be the best. And that was my revenge. And that was my street creds. That's how I got my respect, by being the best in everything. So this is a value that I learned very early. And that was through that experience. I also learned, as an extension from that experience, that if I ever had an opportunity to share like I'm doing now, and like I've done in other types of organizations like Ontario Black History Society, I would take those moments to say that it's okay to be different, to embrace differences, and to respect it. And then I would also educate about the wonderful contributions. And we just came out of Black History Month, but really Black History Month should be 365 anyway, as far as I'm concerned. But this is where I would teach about the pearls of wisdoms and the stars in the community, near and far. So that's where I'm at.
And I really admire you for, telling the story and realizing what you've learned from that experience, right? For anyone, I'm just going to put up the book. I stole it off of someone's Twitter, a past guest was Twitter. 1 second.
Yes, that was my book launch picture.
I think it was Shelley Garnett.
Shelley Jarrett,
Yeah,
a fantastic co-author. She's a publisher. She was one of the great contributors. So the book is available on Amazon.
nice.
If you want to take a look, yeah.
I'm looking at the time, and I promised you 30 minutes. It looks like we're
We can
running.
keep going. I'm
We
okay.
can keep going? All right. Business tips. If you had to give a business tip for entrepreneurs who are listening right now, what business tips what tip would you what advice would you give them?
Great question. I would advise them to use wisdom in whatever they're doing. Yes, the goal in every business is to be productive, and you want the revenue stream to come, and lots of it. But in order to get the money, you've got to get the wisdom.
Yeah.
Because people get money and they don't have wisdom, and then the money just disappears. And I'm sure you've seen lots of examples. You've heard lots of examples. So if you have wisdom, you'll know how to get it and keep it.
Love it. Love it. And I think it has a lot to do with just listening to other people's experiences, learning, and just doing the proactive measures to grow. As your business grow, know what's going on in the industry, and just be able to make the best decisions that you can with the information that's available.
Absolutely. And Banki, you're absolutely right. It's great to get a mentor, get someone who's been there. And, if they're so gracious, they'll give you the time to share what they've learned. Volunteering, lending a hand in the community can also help you, learn great skills, and also to build upon what you need to do to get to your, place in the sun, to get to your destiny. And don't be ashamed to ask for help. Everybody needs help. that was one of the biggest barriers for me too. I mean, to be honest
I'm
with
still
you, I
going
had to
through them.
overcome my pride
Hmm.
and to say, you know what, I don't have it all together sometimes, or I don't know it all, and can you help me? And
Well,
you'd be surprised how many people will come out and help.
that's been a challenge for me as well. Doing graphic and web designing and then doing all of this stuff here. I want things to be a certain way, and then I treat it as if it's my baby, like Business Takeout is my baby. So, a lot of the things was being able to ask for help, learning to ask for help, right? Grateful to have Makisha behind the scenes
Yeah, great job.
doing all the work. Yes. Um, So, next question I wanted to ask you was based on all the hats that you've worn, all the things that you've done, what are some of the opportunities that you've gained from following your passion and doing what you love to do and taking that leap of faith, as you mentioned earlier?
It's been, such an honor to connect with great people, and also to see how moving in faith, taking that leap of faith, I realized that there were so many destinies that were tied to me. If I didn't take this opportunity to showcase some people, then Um, I mean, perhaps they would have, but it helped through the show to showcase them and put them in the direction where they need to be. And I've seen many examples of that. I've seen people who were very nervous, tongue-tied, very shy, and I coached them on the show to shine. And now they have their own shows, which is it's really very very heartwarming for me that I was able to help and coach them through that. So to answer your question, I think it's just really the connections I've made with some people to help them grow, and also to learn more about myself, and also the incredible doors that it's opened for me. Um, I mean, even entering the arena of politics happened because someone saw a show episode, and yeah, so it's all the dots connect when you take that time to make things happen. But it happens because you leave that comfort zone and you go out there and you try to make a difference by just being confident with your abilities and just saying, okay, I'm here. I'm going to say yes, and everything is going to come into alignment, and it does.
Amazing.
And also, sorry to say, I was going to just finish with saying that, and be patient with yourself, because the process doesn't come overnight. You
It
know,
doesn't.
sometimes it'll take 13 years for it to go where it needs to go. So.
Yeah. And that's one thing I'm realizing is sometimes you put in all this work and you don't see the results that you want, and you're like, oh my gosh, like why am I doing this?
Yeah.
But I learned that if you keep at it and don't look at the end result, but focus on the journey, the process, and enjoying the moment, you will get there. And it's the end goal will happen, but enjoy the moment, the process.
Yes. Yes. Be present.
Yeah,
And not don't look behind you. The past is where it should be, and just be present. Focus on what is right in front of you, and not be anxious about tomorrow. You'll get
exactly.
there eventually. Yeah.
And I know you mentioned politics before, and it wasn't something we mentioned earlier, but you were actually an NDP MPP candidate for Mississauga Malton Peel, is it Peel region in 2018?
Yes. Yes. I was the member of provincial parliament candidate for Mississauga Malton,
Mm,
and yeah, that was an experience.
amazing.
That was something that was like an eye opener for me, and very rewarding. I met some wonderful people who are still my friends, and I go through Malton, and it feels good. It's like, hey, Nikki, I remember I took a lawn sign from you, and just wonderful people. I love Malton, Mississauga. Just very kind, and yes, it taught me a lot about myself. It taught me a lot about being resilient,
Hmm.
about persevering, and also to be humble, and to listen to people. It's less about you and it's more about, what people need to share. So I learned how to listen more during the pandemic.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Love it. We're about to enter a game. This is the game I mentioned at the beginning called Business Confession. For those who are new watching, Business Confession is a game where I will give Nikki a business scenario type of question, and she will answer with either a lie or a business confession. Let the game begin. All right. So, Nikki, in the world of business, there's always times where everyone have experienced it, where you have to do something that you've never done before. So tell us about a time when you had to approach a task that you've never done before.
Well, it was a time where we had a live taping, and it was probably 10 minutes into the show, and the camera operator texted me that they were not able to come. Something had happened on the way, and I didn't have a camera operator. So
Wow.
I had a show, and it was about to go on in 10 minutes, and the audience was there, and the guests were there. So I had to find a way to operate the camera until I had backup. So I was filming and hosting from behind the scenes.
Huh. You see, I don't have much experience with like live, because you have a studio that you do your interviews from. I don't have any of that. So I'm trying to see if it's a lie or confession. I'm trying to see how you're gonna adjust your cameras. But if you have many cameras going at the same time, you can possibly do it.
Do you win anything? What do you win, Banki?
Huh?
What do you win from this game? I'm all about prizes.
You know what? That's a good idea. Maybe for another show, I can have prizes for this. But I've never thought of having prizes. What could a prize be? A clap.
That works. Thank you. All right. So
I think it's a confession.
Was I telling you the truth, or was that kind of?
I think it's a confession. I'm gonna.
When do you want the answer?
Yes.
That was actually made up. There's no way I would have the show without a camera operator. No, that didn't happen. It did happen that they came late. I just started the show late.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I would have probably canceled if it happened, but it never did. They just showed up late, like 45 minutes late. Yeah. So it was just later day.
Well, having the setup that you have where it's a stage. People are coming to your show instead of doing it online like how we're doing it on StreamYard. That's hopefully the direction I want to get to, but I don't have no knowledge of the whole studio life.
That's okay. That comes. I started just like you online to radio, and then it's just connecting to certain people are like, let me show you the ropes. Come to my studio, and then the rest is history. So I'm sure when you're ready, it'll happen.
Okay. So what does the future hold for you? Where do you see yourself in the future?
I see myself, finding more people, maybe outside of Canada, finding them to share their stories in the States, the Caribbean. I'd like to go to Africa. I've had a couple of invitations to go to certain countries in Africa, so I'm just waiting for that time to happen. so that everyone's story can be heard. So I think I want to move it to an international arena.
Mhm.
And I believe that is what's going to be happening for the show, and perhaps some other pursuits that I can't share yet. But
Well, I'm
uh,
looking forward to hearing about it.
the time, it's all about timing, Banki, uh,
Yeah.
and having the wisdom to know when to start it. So,
Okay.
but you'll be the first to know.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.
Okay, sounds
How
good.
can anyone reach you? If anyone wanted to speak with you, how can they connect with you?
Absolutely. They can go to my website, NikkiClarkeNetwork.com. I'm also on Facebook, The Nikki Clarke Show. I have a group there. I'm on Instagram, Nikki Clarke31, my forever age, and also on Twitter, Nikki Clarke Show 2020.
Love it. Okay. Um, Thank you so much for spending time with us today. And, wish you much success. You already have an abundance of success. I wish you more. For those who are watching right now, please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And thank you so much. And we're going to end the show, but just hang on for a little bit. I won't keep you too long. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and have yourself a great day. See you next week.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thanks, everyone.
If you enjoy our programming and want to help support Black entrepreneurship, please donate today. www.businesstakeout.com/donate.